What's going on, y'all? I'm Brandon Atlanta Man Bang, coming to you live right here at Coach's Corner, the center of the universe, Thunderbolt, Georgia. Another episode of Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Rubbin' is racing, grubbin' is tasting. Man, I hope everybody's having a great Wednesday night. Got a lot of NASCAR news, a little bit of NASCAR news to go over, recapping that Daytona 500 race, and looking forward to Atlanta Man's home track, Hot Atlanta, baby. Atlanta Motor Speedway this weekend. I cannot wait to get up there. I'm itching on go, man. It's going to be a great time. So if you're new to the show, the way we like to start it out is what we call the word of the day. So I have no idea what the word is going to be. Lawrence is going to throw it up here on the screen. Every time I say that word, take a sip of your favorite adult beverage. We always like to say it's age appropriate as well. If you're under 21, Red Bull, sweet tea, Kool-Aid, it's Wednesday, man. Coming off of a shorter school week with President's Day. Come on, man. Get live, get loud, have a good time, man. So word's going to be, I have no idea. But when I say it, drink, y'all. So getting into that NASCAR news, hey man, news heard around the world. William Byron comes home victorious in 24, takes that 24 car to victory lane in the Daytona 500. And I tell you, it was an awesome finish there. That was a good run for William. There again, I think this is probably the best up-and-coming guy. I don't know if you consider him a superstar yet, but up-and-coming guy. Definitely hungry for wins, picking up where he left off last season. So going to be awesome to see, but a great way to start the year out for William Byron in that 24 camp. So Austin Hill still reigns king in the Xfinity Series at Daytona too. I think that's three in a row or 4 in a row. I don't know, 3 in a row I think. I don't know. Dude is phenomenal on super speedway racing, I'll tell you that. Awesome deal there in that 21 Chevy for RCR. And I'll tell you what, Austin Hill might be one to be on the lookout for to come up, make a jump to Cup here, if not next season, maybe the season after that. But we'll definitely have to wait and find out. But good run there for 21 and Austin Hill. So last but not least, Nick Sanchez, man, survives and finds a finish there at Daytona. I tell you what, that truck race was pretty wild too. Typical truck race. The sitting down conversation really, I don't think went too far for the group of guys. But you know, at the end, it's Daytona. All you can ask for is to have a shot. We know we're going to crumple up a lot of equipment. Doesn't matter what series it is, but truck especially. So, but a good run and good win there for the two truck and Nick Sanchez. And I tell you what, man, might have a little bright future ahead of him. Just got to keep his head focused in the game and keep going, man. So that's gonna do it for the NASCAR news. Like I said, not much news to go over, y'all, but we got some recapping, man. So if you haven't yet, please go out, like, share, follow all that social media out there. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can find us everywhere, but make sure you go check out that YouTube, Rubbin' and Grubbin', subscribe to that. Like I always say, the more eyes we get on the show, hopefully, the more awareness we get to the charitable things that we do here, not only on Rubbin' and Grubbin', but Coach's Corner as well. So definitely make sure you guys are going and checking that out. Getting into my favorite part of the show, the checkered flag for charity. So as I said, the past couple weeks, past couple weeks we've been talking about it and, coming up with something, and unfortunately, tragedy struck pretty close to home. LB is one of Lawrence's good friends here. Logan Spencer passed away. Let's see, motorcycle accident, I'm pretty sure. Leaves behind some awesome kids, 2 kids, Ashton 3 and Sparrow, which is 5. So we're going to start the year out and getting it going for him, man. So we'll have a cooler full of joy here, not this weekend. Next weekend, we got a concert, which I'll touch base on, coming up here at Coach's. So we will have that first cooler of the year set up for him. As I always like to say, it doesn't matter, nickels, pennies, dimes, 10, 20s, 150s, whatever you got to give, make sure you donate in. Bring some extra cash up here if you plan on coming up to the concerts here in the Sound Garden. Throw it in. Hey, you got a chance to win a pretty nice cooler full of booze, and you get to do something good for your community, man. So make sure you're showing up, turning out, and showing out for that. Logan Spencer, that's who we're going to be doing it for. So good buddy of Lawrence's, like I said. Make sure you guys tune in, show up, show out, man. So getting into that next part of the show, but before we do, got to give a big shout out to my main man, Parker Eccles over there at Arbor Man Tree Service, sponsoring Rubbin' and Grubbin' for, I think it's 3 years now, third season now. So can't tell him how much it means to me that he sponsors the show, man. But best tree service in Savannah. Any kind of your needs, doesn't matter what it is. Full tree removal, stump grinding, cutting back some limbs. If you just need an estimate, man, make sure you give Parker Eccles a call over there, Arbor Man. You're going to see that number scrolling on the screen all night long. Locally operated, locally insured. Like I always like to say, no job too big, too small. Give Parker a call, baby. Arbor Man Tree Service. Love you, bud. Gonna miss you this weekend, man. So getting into that who's hot and who's not. And, man, look, it didn't take that long to really get a good feel for who's hot and who's not, man. William the Kid Byron, taking over that #1 spot. How can he not? Hendrick Chevrolet, 24-24, won the Daytona 500. I tell you what, I've said it for years. I'll continue to say it. Now that Gordon is behind the scenes at HMS, if anybody thought that this 24 car wasn't going to come back to life, it's back, and it's hunting for a championship. They picked up right where they left off last year. 6 wins, I think, was the total last year. They already got 1 with a lot of good tracks for William coming up. So 24 might be a team to look out for in 24, man. And I tell you what, you know, a couple championships, 3 out of the last 5 for Hendrick won't be a bad deal. So we'll see what they can do, but keep an eye out for William Byron in that 24 car for sure. So who else? #2 on the hot list, Fords in general, man. I tell you what, there's a couple Ford fans out here in front of me right now. Both gentlemen love Ford. And I tell you what, the Dark Horse, man, I tell you, that was a good vehicle there at Daytona. I feel like out of everybody, they probably had the best equipment all the way around as far as the whole car went. But, man, they were fast. And I tell you what, if that's a precursor to what we have going on coming up for the rest of the year, man, they're going to be tough to deal with. We'll see how they run. We get to that 1.5 mile package. We'll see what Ford has built up. But right now, Super Speedways, that Dark Horse is definitely running fast, man. So that's going to wrap it up. Oh, yeah, man, before we wrap it up, I might as well go ahead and mention it, man. I got to put my Hendrick boys in there. HMS is hot right now, too. Not only did they win the 500, they also had the runner-up with Alex Bowman. Let's see. Elliott rounded out at 14th, I'm pretty sure. Elliott was the worst out of all of them, unfortunately, my main man. But, hey, 14th, still a good run. You survived. You made it. And Larson came home 11th. So getting into the bread and butter at Hendrick, as you would say, pretty much outside super speedways, I feel like. Atlanta, maybe so. We might see a Hendrick car be victorious again. But once we get down the road here, I feel like there's 5 more tracks inside this first 10 that you can chalk up, you know, a Hendrick guy is going to compete for that win at. So good way to start the year for him. Not a bad way. Daytona 500 champions in that camp and, you know, got some good finishes. So good way to start the year. So getting into the who's not, and that's saving fuel racing at Daytona, the fuel strategy game at Daytona, and we'll talk more about that in just a bit, but right now that is definitely on the not list. That's not cool. So that'll wrap it up for the who's hot and who's not, but before we get into that Daytona recap, we're going to pause right here for station identification. Coach's Corner Sports Network, rubbing and grubbing, baby. Hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. Cheers, y'all. All right, Daytona recap, man. The biggest race of the year, and William Byron come home victorious. Pretty sure I said it last week, too. That was the biggest purse that Daytona's ever held. It's $28 million and 34,000, right over $28 million. It was up there, man. That's a pretty good chunk of change that 24 camp brought home. I promise you that. But I'll tell you what, man, that was just an awesome deal. 24 beat his teammate, Alex Bowman right there towards the end of the race, and it was very marginal. I think it was 6/10,000th of a second, something crazy, 6/100,000th of a second by the time they threw the caution. But if you watched it, you know there was a late caution there coming to the white. After they took the white, the caution happened. It fell, and Byron just happened to be the lead right there. So it worked out good for him. Bowman, not so much. Close, but no cigar. I tell you, it was just a really good race there. Ford looked to be the guys to beat all night long. I had a Ford this weekend. I was really hoping for him. I tell you what, the 22 of Logano 1 sitting on the pole for the Daytona 500 is a big deal. But, man, just having one of the best pieces out there all night long. I mean, all day long. The dude was fast. Could move, could make the moves, could make the blocks. Really good horsepower and runs. And that goes for every Ford out there, really. I mean, Blaney did great. Keselowski was amazing. David Reagan even got up there, man, and was running right there towards the front. So Ford in general, definitely with that dark horse, brought their A game to Daytona. And it didn't quite pay out for the win, but it definitely paid with moving forward, knowing what kind of equipment they have. I mean, they're going to be, if they can put it on 1.5 miles, man, that program is going to be rough this year. Ford's going to be rough to beat, so we'll see what happens. But
who rules Atlanta, sir?
Well, whatever. you know, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that Ford and Atlanta stuff. I'm not even down with none of that. But overall, I mean, like I said, Ford looked to be the best. Second was probably Toyota. If you ask me, it was probably Toyota. I mean, again, those guys were able to move. They don't have the size that the Ford and Chevy camps have, so they do have to team up with some other manufacturers. But I tell you what, man, Christopher Bell coming home, third, great run. Denny Hamlin coming home. Just a lot of guys there. I mean, Ty Gibbs was running good. You know, a lot of guys that were running really good there for a while. And maybe it didn't pan out, but maybe it did, you know. And at the end of the day, I felt like they had a really good balance in their car, right? They were able to push. Now, Chevy was probably the worst out of all three. Even though they won the race and they put themselves in the position there towards the end, I feel like there was other manufacturer OEMs out there that had a way better product than Chevy. It just seemed like even when you had those Hendrick Chevrolets linked up, you know, they couldn't make that push to the front, which I get a lot of that is, you know, people out front and pacing the field, you know, holding them to that pace, because we know it's hard to get around there at Daytona nowadays with what we have and nobody willing to go. You pull out, you lose. So at the end of the day, they did the best they could. They came home with the win, that's for sure, but I'll tell you what, they do have a little bit of ground to gain on those other two OEMs, I feel like, if they want to compete super speedways. Now, like I said, we'll get into these mile and a half. Atlanta's really not a true test, but Vegas, Phoenix, you know, some of these other tracks that are a little bit more normal for the NASCAR schedule, if you will, we'll really see who's got what. But like I said, that's the way I got them laid out now. So Daytona, man, didn't end without some drama either. We were going to see how this Clash stuff carried over, and not really too much from the Clash, but we still got some people upset. Old J-Lo, Joey Logani himself, was mad at Ross Chastain about the blocks and everything else. But, you know, I know J-Lo wasn't talking about throwing blocks out there, man, because come on. But anyways, at the end of the day, had that little bit go on. You also had Corey LaJoie and Austin Cindric kind of take some shots there. Cindric, you know, got caught up in the wreck. He felt like LaJoie just drove through him and kind of, you know, pushed him, put his car somewhere it didn't belong. But at the end of the day, it's last few laps for a Daytona 500. You can't be mad at that. It's totally different than a duel. It's totally different than anywhere else. It's a Daytona 500. Awesome run there for Spire as well. Fourth place finish for Corey LaJoie, which I think was awesome, other than the fact that we had him to finish third. So we missed out again by a spot, which, yeah, cost us a little bit of money, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But, yeah, good run there. And like I said, Corey pretty much, you know, responded and said, hey, we're not friends, so I don't really care what he has to say. So, I mean, I love that. I love the fire there. So we'll see going forward into Atlanta. We'll see if they work together on track, or if we keep it going a little bit for a few weeks. But going to be a good one, man. So all in all, like I said, the fuel saving was the main tone in the race for me. It wasn't one of my favorite midway points in the Daytona 500 for sure. That's not something we want to see, which we'll talk about it more. But you know, they got to get it figured out. We got to figure it out. But all in all, a good finish there in Daytona. The race was, you know, pretty decent, had good moments. But there again, the finish was great. And really, let's be honest, nowadays is kind of what we wait for. But we'll see what happens at Atlanta. We'll rack them back up and get them set up for a very unique mile and a half super speedway, one of a kind, man. So we'll see what goes down. And talking about Atlanta, getting into that preview, y'all, it's the home track. It's Atlanta man's home track. I'm so ready to go and be there. The Turn 2 crew is coming in. I got everybody, Bubba, Big E, Kenny, everybody, Marcus, everybody that comes in with them is going to be there. Awesome. LB and Kim and grandkids and Jason and Logan and everybody's going to be there. My parents and family, you know, buddies of ours here from Coach's Corner and surrounding area. I tell you what, man, it's just going to be an awesome time. I'm ready, stoked about it. Like I said, I really feel like Atlanta is going to be unique. It might not be so much this year, maybe a couple more years. We get a couple more seasons on that track, I feel like it's going to turn into something that we've never seen before. And I'm hoping, I'm knocking on wood, I'm praying for that. But we'll see. We'll see how it all comes down. Logano made the move last year on old Bad Brad, and came home victorious there in the spring. Well, we'll see if he can repeat. You know, I think it's probably a pretty good bet after watching the way that he ran at Daytona. I'm not going to bet against him, that's for sure. But tune in Sunday. Man, you might even get a little shot of Atlanta, man, on top of the camper with the cape on and letting it fly out. But at the end of the day, tune in Sunday. Find out who wins the AM Better 400 there in Atlanta, man. If I haven't, hey, Lawrence posted it. If you guys hadn't checked it out yet, I did do a little snippet of an article there for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. I think you can only get it online, though, so you got to subscribe, unfortunately, which it's like $1.99. But there is an article out there about spring sports in Atlanta, and your man, Atlanta man, was mentioned in it. So big shout out there to Tyler Head at AMS. you know, he's the one that got me linked up with him to do the little interview. And Tyler's one of the guys out there in their PR department and does an amazing job. I told him to come by and have something to eat, but super busy on race weekends. We'll see if he can squeeze by maybe Thursday or Friday and say hey. But big shout out to Tyler Head out there at AMS. So getting into that top 5, I just talked about it. Atlanta, number 1 on the list has got to be, you know, sliced bread. Joey Logano, J-Lo himself, man. He's just got a knack. I think he's the most seasoned veteran that's got it figured out on really how to run the super speedways. I mean, some guys are good at it and some aren't. Denny, you can say back and forth at Daytona, yeah, but I feel like Logano's got the edge on him at every super speedway. So I'll take him number 1. 2 for me, how can you go and not take the Daytona 500 winner, William Byron? I think he's won multiple times at AMS, spring and in the summer. So there again, another track that he knows how to get around, position himself good, and get a good run. So I'll take Byron second. 3 for me, come on, coming to the home track, baby. Chase Elliott, let's go, man. Number 9 going to be 3rd on that list. A Hooters car, too. It's the first time I get to see the Hooters car in Atlanta. I feel like it's already written in script. I feel like Chase is coming home with the victory, man. So we'll take him 3rd.
We'll be in McDonough Hooters.
The McDonough's Hooters Saturday. If y'all want to see Chase Elliott, he'll be in there. McDonough's Hooters. I will not. I will be on the infield. Having fun, I hope. We're going to find out, but having fun. So 4 for me, Brad Keselowski, number 6, baby. I tell you what, got around Atlanta really good. That Ford program over at RFK has only been building back and back and back. And I tell you what, at one time, Jack Roush and that Ford team was hell at Atlanta. They had some really good runs there with Edwards and Kenseth and a few other guys. So really looking forward to see what they bring. But should be a pretty good piece. I'll take the 6, number 4. 5. Last but not least, this is really hard to go off of, but I'll take Christopher Bell. There again, had a really good finish there at Atlanta last year. I think he gave Logano pretty much the bump he needed to clear Brad right there in 3 and 4, because without Christopher Bell, I feel like Brad might have come back and got him. But at the end of the day, was there. Another good run at the 500, top 3 finish. I think the kid's got a lot of young talent, and he's just now really starting to get it figured out over there at JGR. So I think it's going to be a big season, bigger season than last year win-wise for the 20 camp. I really think that they can go out and get it done. So we'll see what comes up. But dark horses, can't really go that dark at Atlanta, y'all. I mean, let's be honest. We know Corey LaJoie is going to give it hell again, a 4th place finish. I'm definitely betting on LaJoie for a good finish there at Atlanta. And 43, Eric Jones. I feel like Eric Jones has gotten around Atlanta pretty good over the years. Another really good restrictor plate guy or super speedway racer. So we'll dabber into that and see what he can get done. But those are 2 guys to look for a little bit deeper in the field this weekend. All right, about to get into that money line, but before we do, we're going to pause for station identification one more time here on Coach's Corner Sports Network. Happy Wednesday. Cheers, y'all. All right, baby. Money line presented by Redfin Polarized, the best polarized sunglasses on the planet. Italian frames, Carl's Ice lenses. I tell you what, man, these things are awesome. Doesn't matter whether you got money on the line or a wall hanger. Make sure you see it clearly with Redfin, man. I swear they got some really good glasses out. I keep saying this. I'm getting ready to order another pair here. Come about April, I got to get another pair. They got a different lens color and frame that I want. Hopefully, if I can get them, they're in stock, man. They're hotcakes. They go quick. But hey, like I said, whether it's the woods or the water, make sure you do not get caught without your sunglasses, your red fins, man. And as always, make sure you live life fins up. When you hit up that website at checkout, if you decide to get some apparel, a hat, I got my hat on tonight. I got a shirt too. I hadn't worn the shirt yet, but hat, glasses, whatever it may be, make sure at checkout you use Rubbin' and Grubbin 15. That'll save you 15% at checkout, man. And like I said, as always, live life fins up, Redfin, baby. Wasn't a good start to the season, y'all. Me and Lawrence hit the major beginner slump right there at Daytona. I tell you what, we had them covered to the last lap in 3 races, both the duels and the Truck Series race. We had them wrapped until the very end, and that cost us. But we did get one little hit. We did hit with Austin Hill. We did take Austin Hill, which was cool. Had a LaJoie at a 3rd place finish, finished 4th, lost that one. But I think me and Lawrence did the math. We're right around 240 units in the hole to start the year off with. Ain't the way we wanted to start it off, baby, but that's all right. We're getting ready to get it all back right here at Atlanta and then some. We're getting ready to gain so much right here at Atlanta, it's not even funny. So getting into it, man, I'm done giving odds and not telling you guys what we're taking. From this point forward in the year, I'm going to tell you exactly what we're locking in on Cup on Wednesday night because the odds are too good. These early odds are amazing, all right? I'm telling you that right now. Locking in these early odds, Wednesday night, I'm going to give you every Cup. Now, the Xfinity and trucks that we do, when we choose to do them, you're definitely going to have to get on that social media and check that out. Lawrence throws that up there. But every Wednesday, I'm going to give you my Cup rundown. So this is what we're doing this weekend. And opening odds are good. Nobody's opening under plus 1,000, all right? Everybody's better than that, all right? So now's the time to lock it in. Good shot at some money. Joey Logano to win at plus 1,000. We're going to lock that in. William Byron to win at, I think he's at 1,100 or 1,200. We're going to take that for the win. The 6 to win, we're going to lock that in. The 7 to win and top 3, all right? We're locking that one in. And we're going to lock another one. I got to talk to Lawrence about this. I'm feeling Ross Chastainish for some reason at Atlanta, which is a little different. Yeah, a little bit different. But we're going to have to go in and dabber back and forth and see what some odds are a little bit deeper where we could possibly make some money, man, because we're going for a hit. That's all we're doing this weekend. We're going for a hit. So we're going to find out, but that's what we're locking in, man. Might add one, might swap the one car out for somebody. We don't know, but make sure you follow us on social media. Check that out. Lawrence does a great job posting it daily before that race comes up. We'll be in Atlanta, ready to give it hell. Man, I'm telling you what, I'm excited about seeing everybody, as excited as I possibly could probably be right now at this moment. And like I said, I'm ready to get there. So I'm hitting the road tomorrow. We're going to be up there. We've already got some buddies up there, getting in the tunnel, getting the RV set up, and then it's on for a few days, man. So, yeah, there's some people we're definitely going to miss this year, I'll tell you that. But at the end of the day, we got to do what we got to do, and things will work itself out, man. So at the end of the day, love y'all. Cannot wait. Hope everybody's tuning in. I know Bubba said he's tuned in. Loading up. I think he's loading up is what he said. They're going to be loading up watching the show. Me and Bubba do our own little thing. I was up 30 on him and then lost the last 2. I'm still up 10 on him, which that's all right. I like that. That sounds better than owing him 10, that's for sure. Love y'all. So, hey, man, getting into that hard right turn. But before we do, got to give a big shout-out to the man, the myth, the legend himself, Lamar up there at Lamar's Body Shop. Going on, I think second year he sponsored the show, man. 35-plus years, taking care of Savannah's auto collision needs. Doesn't matter what it is. The best can be found at Lamar's. Full-service auto collision repair at its finest. 2301 Skidaway Road. Hop, skip, and a jump right up here from Coach's, man. You can drop the car, catch a ride down here, eat some lunch, go back. Estimate will be done. It's a win-win. You can't get any better than that. So, again, 2301 Skidaway Road, right up here from Coach's. Lamar's Body Shop, the best in auto collision needs, baby. Don't settle for par. Go see Lamar. Love you, man. So, getting into the hard right turn. And this is where we go back to talking about fuel racing at Daytona, all right? This is pretty much what it is, and this is what I'm going to say. Daytona was once known as the Great American Race. All right, it was exciting. You went there and you rung what you brung, and even when we got into the 80s and 90s, you brought stuff that, you could make moves with. You could drive to the front if you were in the back, and you could pass and do these different things. Now, we have been forced into a hand of saving fuel a majority of the race. That's what it's all about, is the fuel game. And the reason for that is stage racing. I mean, let's be honest with it. Look, I don't care either way with stages or without stages. This is one that definitely hurts the argument for stage racing right here, because without the stages, you just have natural cautions. The race will go green. Everybody's going to run full fuel. Doesn't really matter, right? It doesn't matter if you're running 100% or not. You still got to come in and get fuel. Now, I think that when you get guys out front, as I mentioned earlier, they like to pace the field. So those guys out front are going to start setting a tone of blocking runs to take the push, to kill the momentum, to save some fuel. And it's hard to save fuel out front. We all know that. But, when you get 2-3 rows back and you're running 60%, 70% throttle, you're saving a lot of fuel. And unfortunately, that's what this race is going down to. And I hate that. I don't know what the answer is to get rid of it, but I know that I don't want to see that again. We get side by side in 2 packs, and we did see some 3-pack racing, but we wait. It's the Daytona 500, but you wait 495 laps until you start going. You're going to race 190, 195 before you start making moves. So I really hope that when we get around to some of these other super speedway races, Atlanta's maybe not so much, but Talladega and Daytona, when we get back to these places, I really hope that we get some guys that really want to run it, right? Just run those fuel windows and run it and get some packs going and racing and swapping and doing things. And the new car is part of it. That's definitely a downfall to it. And then also the other bad thing about it is just going to be, like I said, guys that aren't willing to go that want to save the fuel. So again, I don't know the answer. I feel like it's just something that you've got to really get figured out. They've got to figure it out on their own. I don't think it's going to change anytime soon, so we might as well chalk it up and get ready to expect the same thing we saw this past weekend at a few other tracks this year. But it's definitely got to be something. They got to do something, man. Guys got to get hungry. Drivers got to get behind it. Something's got to happen because, it's bad. But time will tell. We'll find out, man. So that's going to wrap it up for the rubbing part. We are on to the grubbing. And Lawrence, I don't remember what Lawrence threw in there tonight. Lawrence chose tonight. And we're going up to Atlanta. And this is the classic. It has nothing to do with Atlanta, but it is a classic. This is a very good. It's one of my favorite things here. So we got the Philly, man. We got the Philly foot-long bun, melted shaved steak, baby, provolone, cheese. I got the tots on there. Yeah, I'll be tearing this up here in just a bit. I'm hungry today, too. Hadn't eaten yet. But I tell you what, man, if you guys hadn't yet, please come up here to Coach's Corner. You guys are missing out. Some of the best food, like I say all the time. Doesn't matter. They'll do it a million different ways for you as long as it's reasonable. Kitchen staff, from the kitchen staff all the way to the management, waiters, waitresses, everybody is awesome up here at Coach's, man. You got to come out and check it out if you haven't yet. As I always say, if you haven't, you're either locked up and you've been here wanting to get back, or you're living under a rock, man. You got to be from a different planet if you haven't been to Coach's Corner and you're from Savannah area, man. So come out here, support that local business. Also, as always, make sure you tune in Saturday morning for Coach Carl DeMasi with the Prep Sports Report, throwing it down, keeping you up to date on everything Prep Sports local, high school football, baseball, basketball, swimming, golf, lacrosse, bass fishing, my favorite now, archery, soccer. I don't know. Coach covers everything, man. That's every Saturday live right here, 9 a.m. in the Sound Garden until he runs out. And Coach's been doing a pretty good job. Had some local guests on. He also jumped down on another younger kids show that started up his own little podcast thing, which is really cool. Definitely big shout out to him and Coach for doing that. That was an awesome link. I watched the video. But again, you guys check that out. And here coming up, we're not far from baseball season. It's right around the corner, so I'm sure Coach hopefully is going to be cranking up Who's on First Base with him and Kyle Lawson. But if you haven't yet, make sure you go subscribe to Coach Carl DeMasi's YouTube channel as well. And Lawrence wasn't lying. He said he's catching this, man. I tell you what, he's got a direct feed line to the kids. I need him to start, getting some kids interested in NASCAR for me is what I need. Coach, you guys started getting them out there, getting interested in a little bit of NASCAR, some knowledge, man. Bring a field trip up to Coach's or something on a Wednesday, man. I need something, Coach. I need some love, man. But, yeah, awesome show, and make sure you subscribe to that. Great guy. So that's going to wrap it up for Rubbing and Grubbing tonight, man. Little short show. Like I said, I'm ready to hit the road tomorrow morning, get into Atlanta. I love it. I always use this time to really kind of talk about something that really kind of hits home, right? And kind of close and what we're going through in society and what we go through as people, right? So I'll end it on this, man. I've said it a million times, but I tell everybody out there, make sure that you hug those loved ones and kiss them as often as possible because you don't know what tomorrow holds. Every day is full of surprises. You don't know when that's going to be the last time you hold, you hug, you kiss, you love. So, at the end of the day, just make sure that you take the most of it. And if it is the last time, you make sure that you take the most out of it, man. But I tell you what, we just got to be kinder to each other. We just got to learn to love and just be great. That's it, man. Just go out, be kind. Please be kind, rewind. That's what we need to do, man. Take the time, slow it down a little bit, and go back to being nice to each other. So. We'll see how it goes with everything out there, man. But like I said, love each other, take care of each other, and keep those close ones tight. Because like I said, it can change in the blink of an eye. Trust me, I know. So anyways, have a great Wednesday night, y'all. Love y'all. Tune in next week. We're going to be posting some stuff this Saturday. Also, meant to mention it before I get out of here. Fast Car Living, Rubbing and Grubbing, linking up while we're in the ATL to hit a short little show right there, probably Saturday morning, hopefully. I got to touch base with them again about Sunday's race, so make sure you tune in to that. That'll be posted up on either one as well. Going to be doing some media stuff all weekend in Atlanta, so if you're wondering, what's going on, you can always check it out on our page. Coaches will probably have some stuff throwing up of what we're doing on the infield as well. So make sure you guys are following that. Love you guys. What was that?
Rye Cake with Insider's Room.
Oh, yeah. Rike, yeah, Wiry Craig with Insider's Dream. Sorry about that. I got to get a show. I'll be on his show, dude. I've totally spaced out about that. I just talked to Lawrence about it earlier. Got to do a call-in with him. We'll be talking a little gambling, NASCAR gambling there at Atlanta, which I don't know if I'm the best one to be doing it, but, I mean, I'm going to give it a whirl, man. I mean, I've been known to win some stuff, but I lose quite a bit, too. So we're going to find out what's going on. But, yeah, I got a lot of good stuff. Actually giving away the helmet up in Atlanta. Just going to be a great time, man. I'm ready to get there. Hey. Hope you guys had a great Wednesday night. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate all the love. Like I said, spread it out. Hey, man, hug them, love them, kiss them. Till next time, I'm out. Love you guys.